Now to a story that is making news all over the world. A little flower has bloomed for the first time in some 30,000 years.
In a scientific breakthrough, a Russian team has grown a plant from a seed that predates the Ice Age. Primetime's botanist and chief Tom Barton joins us right now with the details. Is this plant going to eat us, Tom? Actually, that's not my question. What sort of plant is it?
What a compliment. Thank you very much, botanist. Well, there are some real botanists, I presume, and others in the Academy of Sciences behind me here in Moscow, and scientists there at universities here and all over the world have really been quite excited by this find and this development that scientists at another institute here in Moscow have managed not to clone, but to sort of resurrect from some fruit tissue, as they call it, not the seed, but something like the seed, from a plant which was frozen 30,000 years ago. And with some growth hormones, they've managed to stimulate that and actually grow a plant from it. It's alive, it seems to be pretty much normal, and it's by far the oldest example of anything like this that's ever been done.
Yeah, it's worrying times. We've got scientists in the Antarctic digging up aliens, and now we've got potential triffids coming to Earth. But nonetheless, you have to give them credit. It's quite an achievement. How did the scientists manage this?
Well, actually, the first beings that we have to give credit to for this are prehistoric, or not prehistoric, but squirrels, ground squirrels, which 30,000 years ago, I don't know if you've seen the film Ice Age, there's these little squirrels that used to do what squirrels do today and try to hide nuts and berries and fruits that they found. They were doing the same 30,000 years ago. Little did they know it, but the Ice Age was about to roll over northeastern Siberia, which at that time, on the banks of the river Kolma, where this was found, a particular squirrel must have buried parts of this plant, and then very soon after, the ground was frozen and stayed frozen until scientists discovered it still in frost very recently, and then began the process of trying to get this small fragment of the plant back to life again. And they've tried with seeds. It was thought that you had to have a seed to do this, but the team here in Moscow tried that. It didn't work, and the oldest example that had succeeded before was a 2,000-year-old specimen. This was 30,000 years old. They decided to try with a bit of the surviving fruit tissue, and they stimulated that with some growth hormones. Lo and behold, it worked. So the eventual credit goes to the team in Moscow.
Okay, of course, Ice Age, a wonderful documentary. I've enjoyed that thoroughly. Tom, how do we know that this flower is indeed genuine?
That is another point, a cautionary point. Many times in the past there have been claims made that this is a tens of thousands-year-old specimen, and it's found later on that by some chance a modern piece of plant has just fallen into the ice. There is still a chance that this may turn out to be the case here as well. It's not 100%. But it must be said that the team went through immense amounts of testing to try and make sure that this was a genuine specimen from all those years ago. So they are quite sure of that. Sadly, it must be noted that the chief scientist involved actually passed away the day before they revealed all of these years of work. So all of the team actually are in mourning at the moment for the man who made all of this possible. A small sobering note in what has been a great scientific revelation.
Yeah, that sounds terribly sad, that, Tom, so well made, that point. I do have to ask, though, if this plant, as it sounds, still exists today, why was it so significant, so important to resurrect it from these prehistoric seeds?
Yes, well, yeah, that maybe require a little bit of explaining. Essentially, yes, the plant carried on growing. It didn't become extinct. So this specimen actually is the same plant really as is growing now, except it's not. They found it's changed slightly over those 30,000 years. And that is an amazing possibility to try and actually look at a snapshot of the old plant and 30,000 years worth of evolution, and there's been differences in the petals, in the root growth, in the amount of buds on the plant. Not very big changes, but some clue as to the evolution, which is absolutely fascinating, scientists. We heard from another scientist here in Moscow earlier about some of the other possible implications.
The experiment has demonstrated that seeds can be preserved in natural conditions for a very long period of time. We don't even need to develop cryogenic archives to stock it. We may simply be able to preserve the plant gene pool in natural permafrost conditions.
So there are implications for storing seeds found and parts of plants found. There's also thought that there was probably quite a few squirrels active back there. Probably Ice Age isn't the best foundation for the research, but another point is that if this works and if tissue can be taken rather than just seeds, the possibility of perhaps making animals and bringing them back to life isn't actually such a fantastical proposition.
Ice Age meets Jurassic Park. Exciting times indeed. Tom Barton, that's our correspondent. Thank you so much.